Hello everyone, welcome to another thought for the day, coming to you from Larbert Baptist Church. This is Friday the 9th of July. I'm double checking that date because those of you who have been paying rigorous attention to these particular little posts will realise that when I did the talk on Wednesday, I gave out the wrong date. I think I said it was Wednesday the 6th of July, when actually it was Wednesday the 7th of July. Being good Christians, of course, you'll forgive me. Sorry about that. That was, of course, just a deliberate mistake to keep you on your toes. Now, thought for the day today. I come to you at times doing these talks, and I wear different hats, as it were. Sometimes I wear the hat of a concerned citizen. Sometimes I wear the hat of a preacher or a pastor. Sometimes I just wear the hat of a family man or a father. Well, I'm literally going to come to you with a hat this evening. I'm going to put on and come to you in the guise with the hat of a street pastor. Can you see that? In fact, I might as well go the whole hog. A sign of the times. We also have our own official street pastor face masks. So I don't know, I'm just looking at myself here. It looks quite scary actually. It's probably also quite difficult to communicate with a mask on, which is a bit of a problem. But as you know, I take my turn as a street pastor. I've been involved in the work since it first began in Falkirk some 10 or 11 years ago. And just when I mention this hat, we have to go out in uniform. We've got a jacket with street pastor in the front, street pastor in the back. We've even got leggings now that says street pastor on them. But this is the most important thing because it's not just to keep your head warm or dry or whatever, or keep the sun out of your eyes. When I'm talking to someone, this keeps the name of the street pastors in front of them, so they sort of can't forget that they're talking to someone, not somebody of authority, but somebody from an organisation. They're not just talking to an individual, and it's good to keep the name of the street pastors before them. Sometimes they get a wee bit close to you, and then you've got to move back because, again, you've got to just have that reminder there that you are a street pastor. And of course it's not good for people to come too close to invade your bubble, as the experts tell us. But anyway, so there's a couple of reasons why we wear the hat. Now, I do want to keep the street pastor hat on, metaphorically speaking, because I mentioned that I've been involved since we established the work in Falkirk. It was established elsewhere, of course, a bit before that. But of course, Street Pastors has now become a worldwide organisation, and we find them all over the world, from America to Australia and Africa, the Caribbean, throughout Europe, etc. Sometimes, but not always, under a different name. And the work of Street Pastors is now internationally recognised. I'll not go into the ins and outs of what we do. Very, very briefly, we're there to listen, to care and to help. And we do that in a variety of ways. But it's good to have a Christian presence out on the streets late at night, at the weekend, when usually you wouldn't expect one. But last year was our 10th anniversary. And we were meant to have a bit of a celebration on the Friday the 3rd of April 2020. Now, I think you can remember what happened just before that. We went into lockdown, and we postponed our 10th year celebrations to later in the year. But we're still waiting. We never quite got round to getting together. We were going to have a service of Thanksgiving. We were going to invite other people. We're going to have a wee bit of a dinner amongst ourselves. And all that has yet to be organised. But one thing that was done, and this was a bit of a surprise to most of us, because there was just a few on the committee did this, but they produced a little bookmark. There's the Street Pastor logo you can see at the top, and you probably can't make out all the writing, But it is a list of the things that we've been doing for the last 10 years. For example, there's been thousands of bottles and glasses collected. We've given out thousands of pairs of flip-flops. Almost 3,000 packets of spikies, little things to stop your drinks getting spiked in the bars and restaurants. We've given 178 lollipops out. I'll not go into the details of what they're for. But we've also organised transportation, hot drinks, blankets. We've administered first aid. We've called the ambulance and the police. We've calmed aggressive behaviour on countless occasions, and we've given support to vulnerable people. Now, the most pleasing aspect of this little bookmark is that it's a reminder also of the spiritual conversations that we've been able to have. It's wonderful that when you meet people on their own territory, so to speak, they just open up to you, especially if their guard's down because they're out with their friends, they're having a good night, they're in a good mood, and you can get chatting to them. And of course, when you have a badge, it's an automatic conversation starter. We still get people coming up and saying, "What's a street pastor?" And then off you go. You tell them you're a volunteer, which again, they can hardly believe that you're out at that time of the night and you're not getting paid for it. But you say you're a volunteer, we're from local churches, and we're just trying to help people and care for people and so forth on a Saturday evening, Sunday morning. So that just leads to all sorts of wonderful spiritual conversations, and that's the most rewarding side of the work for me. Again, it's hard to describe, and it's hard to plan for it as well, because you don't know what way a conversation is going to go. You don't know who's going to speak to you. You don't know what their problems, their troubles are, and it's wonderful just the way the Lord leads you to say very often the right thing at the right time, or to be in the right place at the right time to meet someone. But I was just thinking about this and marrying it up with a statistic, a rather sad statistic that was published, well, a wee while ago now. But there was a questionnaire went out to I don't know how many thousands of people. There was a poll taken here in Scotland. And one of the findings of that poll was that 70, this is staggering, well it is to me anyway, the findings said that people responded and 70%, over 70% of people in Scotland said that they saw no reason why they would ever go into a church again for any reason. They don't see the point in going to baptisms or christenings. They don't see the point in going to churches for marriage, and you don't need to go near a church now for a funeral service either. So people are continuing just to drift away from the Lord, drift away from the church literally. And 70% said that, well, they don't bother christening or baptising babies so much now. For marriages, well, you can get a package in a hotel where you can have everything in the one place under the one roof. And of course now people, because cremations are usually a bit cheaper than burials, a lot of people will go to the crematorium rather than have a traditional funeral. So, of course, that is probably no surprise to a lot of us. But the thought I want to leave with you is if 70% of people see no reason at all to come to church, well, basically, if they're not coming to us, we have to go to them. After all, that's what the Lord said. That's the Great Commission, the end of Matthew 28 and verse 19. The Lord is speaking, and he doesn't say, sit in church and wait for all the nations to come in. He quite deliberately says, go therefore. And where have you to go? You have to go everywhere. You have to go to all the nations. And that fits very well with the statistic I've just said to you. Again, if people don't come to us, we have to go to them. Otherwise, we'll never reach them. And I think, I believe passionately that one of the best ways we can do that in our own community is just go out at the weekend onto the streets as a street pastor and see who we meet and see how we can listen to them, see how we can care for them in a very practical way, but also how we can care for them spiritually by having those spiritual conversations which always point to the Lord Jesus Christ. So please remember the work of street pastors. I'm recording this on Friday. As I said, it's my turn to go out again this weekend. A little bit different at the moment. We can't stay out as late because the various establishments that we do our work around aren't open past 11 or half 11 just now. So we'll start a little earlier and we'll finish a little earlier. And as ever, we'll begin with a prayer that, as I just said, we are in the right place at the right time to make ourselves useful and to be able to connect with the people who have said, by and large, they will never come into a church again. That's sad, but as I said, it shouldn't stop us. The Lord has told us to go out, and that's one way in which we can do it. So there we are. That's my little plug for street pastors. If you want to know anything more about the work, or even how to come out as an observer, how to become a prayer partner, please just get back to me. I'd be delighted to chat to you along those lines. So until then, please keep safe, keep praying, pray for the work of street pastors as well. Every Saturday they're out, and as I said, as a street pastor, you only have to take your turn once or twice a month. So pray for that work, but pray for outreach into the community generally, because, sorry to keep repeating myself, but if they don't come to us, we have to go to them. Otherwise, they'll never hear the good news of the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening. Keep praying, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Until that time comes, God willing, bye for now.